Hello, it's Adam Morrison. When it comes to top-tier contracting, my go-to choice is McGlilivray Environmental. I know a thing or two about excellence, and that's exactly what you'll find with Kip McGlilivray and his team. They're not just any contractor, they're the best in Spokane and North Idaho. From start to finish, they ensure your project is completed with the highest quality results. With years of experience and expertise, they handle it all. New construction, meticulous repairs, asphalt paving for residential and commercial properties, excavation, and even environmental remediation. So why wait? Reach out to Kip McGlilivray Environmental today by calling 208-556-6384 for your free estimate. Don't forget to mention my name, Adam Morrison, and experience the difference McGlilivray Environmental brings to the table. Again, that's 208-556-6384, McGlilivray Environmental. My number one choice for all my contracting needs. M4 CPA is a family-owned accounting firm passionate about helping businesses and their owners create a secure future for their families. They pride themselves on the quality of their work and put their clients first, ensuring they get the attention and care they deserve. Their mission is to provide exceptional accounting services to help you achieve your financial goals. M4 CPA is all about building long-term relationships based on trust, integrity, and transparency. With a team of experienced professionals, they offer personalized solutions to meet your needs. If you're a Perimeter listener, here's an exclusive offer for you. Mention the Perimeter podcast when you reach out to M4 CPA and get a free business consultation to assess your financial strategies. So, if you're looking for an accounting firm that truly cares about your business, trust M4 CPA. Accounting you can trust with a personal touch. Learn more at m4cpa.com. Welcome to the Perimeter, Season 5, Episode 8, presented by McGlilivray Environmental, Idaho Central Credit Union, M4 CPA. A lot to cover this episode. We got 3 games in the Players Era tournament, and then we have a big game against Kentucky coming up on Friday in Nashville, and I won't even talk about North Florida on Sunday. They're 333 in the Ken Palm. There's my explanation. But an interesting week over Thanksgiving or right before Thanksgiving in Las Vegas. Kind of a new deal in college basketball. We talked about it previous to the actual tournament happened, but 18 teams where they want mass exposure, high-level games, NCAA tournament-like 2 sites. TNT, TBS, True TV, or whatever is doing the Turner was doing the broadcast, so it's all their NCAA tournament guys. So it was a cool event, and we were at the MGM Grand Arena, and they said it holds about 20, but they covered the top, so it's about 10 to 12, and it was about 3/4 full, if that, maybe whatever's right under 3/4. My math is bad, but whatever is under that.
Yeah.
And so, going into that Alabama game, it was obviously a big-time opportunity for us to get an NCAA tournament type, resume type win. Alabama's number 12 in the country, or was at the time. And I thought we played terrific. I mean, we came out a little bit flat. We knew against that team, and I said it all, week long, especially leading up and on the show, and then obviously on our broadcast, was got to guard the three-point line, and they got to win the rebounding battle. And our bigs have to play good, and they pretty much did all of that. I mean, Graham was terrific, 21 and 11, double-double, 8 and 19 from the field. Braden Huff was terrific, 18 and 8, 9 to 12, extremely efficient, only played 26 minutes. Who else had a good game that game? Timme was terrific. He was 9 to 16, had 21.7 rebounds, was all over the place on the glass, 5 offensive. He's the best when he can play the third or fourth option. And that's not a knock on him, but when he can just kind of be a fly-around guy, and then you throw it to him every once in a while to post up and kind of do his Charles Barkley's and things like that, where he catches and then just backs somebody down. But he was all over the glass that game. It really kind of stifled them a little bit, I think. Just because obviously they're used to the athleticism, but I don't think they had that scouting report on him like that is what I'm trying to get at. Then Steele Venters with 12, made some big-time threes, made one in the end of the first half, and then one in the second half that was huge for him. And so it was nice to see him knock some down. And then it was just one of those situations where he's shot it okay all year. Percentage-wise hasn't been the best, but I say it on our broadcast and I say it on this. When a guy can shoot and it's come off his hands good and he has in and outs, he's still a 3-point threat. And so you're just kind of waiting for, okay, here it comes. And that was it for Steele in that game. It kind of really got him going, and I was happy for him, just on a team level, but a personal level, because he has shot it well. Like it looks like it's going in, coming off his hands every time. You know what I mean? As a basketball guy, and then like I said, he's just had some in and outs, and then when you miss a couple maybe early, then it's hard to let it snap off. Everyone, after that, when you're a bench player coming off the bench in a rotation. But he was terrific. He had 12 points off the bench, played 22 minutes, so he got the benefit of the doubt. Let's see who played good that game. Oh, Mario was terrific. He had 10 points, 6 rebounds, or 6 assists, 5 rebounds, so he was terrific. Funny line, though. 0 for 2 and then 10 for 11 from the free throw line. So he scores 10, obviously, without making a field goal. But he was terrific. So it was a awesome game from the standpoint that we crossed a lot of boxes, like I said. We ended up winning by 10, but we go plus 12 on the glass. We take care of the ball, only 11 turnovers. You can live with that. We hold them for 9 for 29 from the three-point line, which is 31% below their average. They were around 35. We talked about how important that was going into that game. And then they shoot 46% overall. We shoot 46% overall. We win the free throw battle by 5. But just overall, a toughness game for us. It was funny. We didn't cover it on the podcast, but we talked about the Climate Pledge game where we got blown out. But we went down to Birmingham. It was 2 years ago and beat them. Right, yeah. So when I re-looked at it, I was like, oh, shit, how did we forget that? But we won 100-90 down there a couple of years ago. So, it's not like they had us pegged, but it's a scary team to play. But I think their style obviously fits our style. Then our inside play will put against anybody pretty much in the country with our 2 lefties, and they delivered. So it was a great team win. It was a sigh of relief because you talk about that game all week long leading up to it. Who did we play before? Southern Utah or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, okay, these Thanksgiving tournaments were really, really good at it, but to be fair, like the WCC, obviously St. Mary's is good, but like RPI and Ken Palm doesn't really help us. So you got to kind of do well in these Thanksgiving tournaments. It's not said, but it's something that players know and understand. And I think our guys' mentality right away was terrific. So, we get that first win, and then obviously we play guaranteed to play Maryland on the second night. And, kind of a young team, or a new team, I guess is the right way to put it. With Buzz, what's his name? Buzz Williams, I think is his name. The guy who was at Texas A&M. Good coach. Has done well at multiple programs. Takes that job to try to turn that program around. It's a proud program. It's had some success in the past, especially in the early 2000s, kind of when I was in high school. The Juan Dixon years, Steve Blake, Steve Francis, the franchise, right? Like, they've had some good players, and then there's probably more I'm forgetting. Guys that can play, and then after him. So, like, that school and that university, like, leans on basketball to be kind of their sport nationally, if that makes sense. So, when we went into the game, they are a Power 4 school, and they have a brand, but it's a new basketball team trying to get better, and I'm just trying to be polite. And just about within the first 15 minutes, like first minute and a half, you knew we were going to win by a lot. Yeah. You know what I mean? It just, and that's not a knock on them, and that's not making fun of them, but yeah, they just didn't have the personnel, I think, to kind of hang with us, and we just started off terrifically and kind of dominated the whole game. Graham was good again, 13-6. Overall, Braden was good, 9 for 10, obviously extremely efficient. Again, 20 points. Steele Venters has another great game, 4-7 from downtown, but it was nice to see Emmanuel Innocenti go 5 for 7 from 3, gets 15 and 5 in 18 minutes. That was a welcome sign, obviously, and it was a nice thing for that young man because He was obviously in the starting lineup, kind of got moved off of it, and was a good role player for us last year and hasn't had a bad start to this season. But there's so much talent that the leash is shorter. So if you can't, and I've said this, and this is the honest truth, like I've always thought he was a good three-point shooter. He just only shot like once or twice a game and never looked bad coming off his hand. And I'm honest with that. So it was nice to see him string them together, and he got rewarded with more playing time. But it's just nice to see a kid that, is hopefully a glue guy for us continually, going forward, have some success offensively and kind of get back into like, okay, this is my spot in the rotation firmly planted. I know it's going to be a little bit back and forth, but it was nice to see him knock down shots.
Yeah.
Because he does a lot of little things for us, the unheralded things, taking charges, guarding the best player, getting through screens. All those things nobody cares about if you're on the periphery, but inside the program you do. So I was happy for him, but we shot it pretty well. 14 to 33 from downtown was 42%, really good for us. Our best three-point output of the season. We had 9 in the first half, which was our season best.
Yeah.
I felt bad, too. I was talking to the Maryland radio guy before because I get there, an hour before the game, eat, watch the other game before us, which is nice. And it's kind of it's better sitting in the hotel room, but get prepped, you know what I mean, a
Definitely.
little bit. And so the Maryland guy is like, hey, introduced himself. He's like, what are you guys good at? Obviously, he knows a little bit. What you're good at, what you're not. I'm like, well, obviously our inside guys are really good. Guard play, we're deep. We can switch a lot of things. We haven't shot it very well. We make 9 threes in the first half.
Right.
So after the game, he's like, dude, what the hell? And I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Like, just jokingly. I was like, he's like, holy shit. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I didn't mean it like that. So
a quick question about that game and just like mindset for the players. The weirdest thing about this tournament was this point differential that we had to cover.
Yes.
And I was like, is this something that players know about? I mean, obviously the coaches do, but like, are they worrying about like the point differential?
I'll go over the scenario. So going into that game, we were lucky because we had a later slot that we saw whatever the other side of the bracket or pool was going to do.
Right.
And it was AU style. So, and usually in AU tournaments and FIBA is you do point differential, but in AU tournaments, they cap it at 20 is the max you can get. So people don't like thunder other teams.
Right.
Because you'd see that. And it is, I've seen it too, where there was no cap and teams try to win by 50. And it's kind of like, okay, guys, it's your kids, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. It's just, it's not fun. Not fun for anybody. It's not sporting. So anyway, we had a 10-point win against Alabama. Like, great. And I think it was Tennessee, Houston, or somebody on the other side that were like, okay, they're probably going to have a close game. And Tennessee ended up winning, but we're like, okay, that 10-point win for us is going to look really good because somebody's going to, you know what I mean? They're going to have a close game.
Yeah.
And so we went into it I think it was by almost tip-off or a little bit before we knew if we won by 14 or more, we were in the championship no matter what. So obviously we started off terrifically, knocking down shots. But I'm almost positive that it was probably discussed at halftime. Not of like, hey, let's keep the gas pedal on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, let's keep the gas pedal on. And then I discussed it on the radio. Like, what if you were up 18? And this is think of this scenario. What if you're up 18 with 2.5 minutes to go, and the other team subs all their guys out? You're going to look like an asshole, but you're going to keep your starters in.
Right, yeah.
That's why the Players Era, and I'll get into it, is a great tournament, and it's going to grow. But also the format, every team and everybody I was talking to bitched about it the whole week, and I don't blame them. And it just isn't like the point differential doesn't make sense. But they're moving to 32 next year.
Oh God.
So then I think they'll just do eight pools of 4.
That makes sense.
And then you can do it like the PK80 did a few years ago, where you just have you have all the teams there, but you just have 2 champions. There's a 16 bracket and a 16 bracket.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and it's easier. And then you have it at their own site, and even if the fan bases can go to both games, but you just have 2 champions, like who cares? You know what I mean? Because you don't want to play more than 4 games in that week.
No, yeah,
you can't. It's too much. So like 3 is the magic number. So anyway, it was discussed, but it wouldn't be in the sense of like, press, come on, we got to win by, you know what I mean? Like it was on people's mind, but once we got over the hump, like I said, like we weren't taking our guys out.
Right.
And it's a weird spot to be put in. So, for example, why I think the structure is weird, but I get it. There was an odd number, and you got to be different. And the players' era is great. So this is me not knocking. I'm just going off like what other people were saying. And if you think about it, like Iowa State wins 2 games, but they don't win by a certain point differential. And their third game, they ended up playing Syracuse at 10 a.m.
Gosh,
That's a game that's probably not going to help them long term for the NCAA tournament resume. Now, the counter to that is they're in the Big 12. They're a terrific team. They're probably going to get in. There's enough games. But also, it's one of those like, okay, what if you go, and again, I don't know how many exactly conference games Big 12 has, but what if you go 9-9? And so, but then you won 2 really good games in Vegas, but you go 9-9 in a really good league, and you're still going to get in, but that bumps you from an 8 seed to a 6 seed. There's a big difference on making the Sweet 16 or not.
Absolutely.
And having a run, right? And that affects coaches, payouts and recruiting and all that stuff. So, like, when you go to these tournaments, you obviously want tough games, all 3 of them, in my opinion, as many as you can get. Like, you want maybe one easier one that you think you can win, but then you got to challenge yourself. But my point is they had no choice, and they go 2-0. There was going to be one 2-0 team that had to play in that scenario, and they were the one because they didn't win by point differential. And they had the chance to, I can't remember who they played previously, but to try to, like, run the score up, and I don't think they did, and it sucks for them. So,
yeah.
And they don't get any the NIL money because the top 4 get it. See what I'm saying? So they got left out in the cold going 2-0, and Iowa State's a terrific program. Like, they're good. Watched them play. My neighbor, their kid plays there, blah, blah, blah. The kid from Coeur d'Alene, Lake City, Blake Buchanan. You know what I mean? So it was like, I watched, and it was like, man, I knew they were good last year, but I never really pay attention. Like, I watch. It's like, this is a good brand of basketball, man. They play, it's fun. So anyway, a lot of people were upset with that, the format.
Yes, yeah.
So it was a great tournament. Obviously, we get to that, and we go, okay, we're in the championship. And we didn't know there was one other game, but we knew we had
The Perimeter will be right back after a word from our sponsor.
It's time for Home Team Rewards. Zag fans, get your Bulldog branded ICCU Premier Rewards Visa credit card, the only card where you can earn rewards for everyday purchases while giving back to Gonzaga University. Choose from a Visa Rewards card with a lower rate or a Premier Rewards card with maximum rewards. With no annual fees, card control, and next-level security, you can spend smart from tap to app. Zags, rejoice! Find your card at iccu.com/GoZags on approved credit.
Okay, we're in the championship. And we didn't know there was one other game, but we knew we had enough on our side. And then obviously it became Michigan, and it was like, okay, this is going to be interesting. And it was funny because it was, and I'm going to reiterate this and say this, and it's true. I do not gamble on the games, never have, never will, but I look at the lines. I think it's fascinating how close Vegas gets. You know what I mean? I just, especially like these close games. Like, and it's not hard to find. You just look on, you can look on ESPN, look, just the game. It'll tell you the over, under, the spread, all that stuff, money line, everything. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to search for it. So I glance at it, and I think they had us as a 2.5-point favorite, which is interesting going into that. But, obviously a team that we're like, okay, this is a quick turnaround. Very good roster. They had the kid from UAB. What was his? I pronounced his last name wrong. Lenenborg was terrific. He looks like a NBA 3 if I've ever seen one. I mean, I'm not kidding. He's like 6'9".
Yeah, he looked great.
Big, but his stroke looked good. He was fluid, under control. But you're like, oh, that's kind of an older school NBA 3 right there. Like a big, but can put it on the deck, can post you up. Like, he just was like, and I've talked about it just on this, the show previous seasons too. Like, when you see an NBA guy, you're like, oh, you kind of know right away. Usually you do. Same thing with Division I players in high school. Yeah. Girls or boys, when you go into the gym and you go, oh, that's a D1 kid. Like, I can do it pretty like, yeah, that's a D1 player. Yeah. Even if they're not like lighting up the world, but like just body type, you're like, yeah, that he or she has a chance, And so, that was going to be an interesting matchup. The kid Mara that played at UCLA, who we saw, the 7'3" guy, was going to be an interesting matchup. I saw the game before. I watched them a little bit, and he looks so much better than he did at UCLA just, right away.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a change of scenery thing, an extra year, but just more fluid. And then obviously you can't teach 7'3", and then they had terrific guards on the perimeter. So going into the game, you're like, okay, this is a very good team. This is an interesting matchup for us because theoretically they can play us one-on-one in the post, right? And I talk about it all the time, especially if you listen to our broadcasts. Are you going to double team us right away? Or are you going to play us one-on-one? And that's usually kind of the matchup that some of the teams struggle with because our two lefties are really good inside. What are you going to give up? And if you give up, or if you double team, are you going to, hopefully we don't shoot it as good. And then we started making shots in this tournament, right? With Alabama and Maryland, we made shots. So it's like, okay, now if you double team, if we start, shooting the ball just a 3 or 4 or 5% percentage clip better, that's not a fun aspect to do because sometimes people will make 16 threes in a game and you get your ass blown out, right? So it was curious to see how they were going to defend us, but I was almost certain that they were going to play us straight up because they had the body type and size. And sure enough, the first 8 seconds of the game, that kid Lendenborg, he hits a 3. 8 seconds. I literally was like, the jump goes, and I was like shuffling my papers. I'm not kidding. And like usually I'm like, okay, I do the keys of the game, and then I got to like move stuff around. You know what I mean? And then I was like, oh shit, they scored. Like I didn't even see him shoot the first shot, and we just were flat to start the game, and obviously it snowballed from there. Their perimeter defense and their ability to switch everything, it reminded me of the UConn game when we played them at Climate Pledge and the Purdue games when we played them. Yeah. Where all of our actions were getting pushed out to 25 feet. Our dribble handoffs, our chases, they would force back doors, but it was like, go ahead and throw it back door. We got 7'3", 6'11" behind you. So if your guards catch it, are they ready to finish over the top? Yeah. Probably not. Right, and then also that back door pass has got to be made by one of your bigs, and our bigs are good passers. But can they throw a 19-foot bounce pass on a thread? Probably not. Probably not. Yeah, it's not the pass that you want them to make, right? So when the game started to go, and this is maybe not the right term, but I had like flashbacks from those games. I was like, oh shit, this looks exactly like those games.
I had the same feeling. It was just like it was just like one of those games where you just like watch and you're just like, we got to play better defense. We got to make shots, but the momentum just wasn't there.
Yeah, it wasn't there. And, like I said, their perimeter defense was terrific. Our bigs, played hard. Graham was just out of sorts, didn't play well, only had 1 point. He was terrific all tournaments, had a terrific season. He's allowed a bad game. Braden was about the only one that had a solid game inside. He goes 7 for 17, but he has 14 and 6. Timme was good at times. He has 14 on 6 of 13, 14 and 8, but it wasn't impactful. It was, you know what I mean? And that's not a knock on him, but those are the two guys that played good. Everybody else was bad. I mean, not bad, but just out of rhythm. We just couldn't get anything going. We shoot 3 of 22 from 3. Yikes. Obviously, there goes hey, we're shooting it well already. 25 of 74, 33%. Then 8 of 15 from the free throw line. Obviously, that's shitty. Then we get beat by +6 or -6 on the glass. That's the first time it's happened all season where we've lost the glass. Just their physicality and like athletic ability was a little bit not shocking because I've seen a ton of hoops, but it was like, oh, that looks different. You know what I'm saying? It was like, oh shit. So I was super impressed with their team. It's one of those games where, okay, it's nice to see early. If we ever have to play them again, we have an idea. It's also like they shot the shit out of it too early. And then obviously playing 3 games. I know they played 3 games too. It's not an excuse, but I'm talking about the reason for the flatness. Right. But it was a complete buzzsaw. I mean, it was a buzzsaw. We didn't have a chance after the first media timeout. And it got to, I was like, okay, try not to get blown out. And then, oh, shit, we're getting blown out. Try to hold it within 20. Oh, crap, hold it within 30. You know what I mean? But like I said, it was November. Now, it's not taking anything away from Michigan. It's terrific. It's going to be a great win for them. But it's also like, okay, we made it to the championship. We got outmatched physically. We got outmatched athletically. We play them again. We have obviously a chance to rescout and rethink, and obviously that gives us another opportunity because these are new guys on our team. Hey man, the other teams are going to look at this tape. They're going to deny you out to 25 feet. Can we get to our second and third actions and actually get some momentum downhill? Hey Biggs, you can't get kind of pushed around inside. You've been terrific, but if you get pushed around, it's like our quarterback playing really shitty. We have no chance. You know what I mean? Like we just don't. So it was a little eye-opening, but it wasn't surprising from the fact that when everybody's talking about Michigan and they blew teams out the other games, it was like, oh yeah, they're for real, right? And they're good. So highly impressed, but also an Alabama win is terrific. Maryland, who knows? Yeah, I'm just being honest because it's a new team. It's a really good coach. It's a program that believes in trying to win games, so you never know. Like it could be a team that finishes in the mid half of the Big Ten and makes a NCAA tournament like chance to make it. You know what I mean? Or it could turn into a quad 2 win. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Obviously, the Alabama game, knock on wood, is going to be a quad 1, and then this Michigan one's going to be a quad 1 loss. Yep. Right. So like I look at the tournament as a success overall. Obviously, you want to win it. Will we get some NIL money back? I've heard so many different numbers. I have no clue. They said $1 million to the winning team, and then everybody was saying, no, it was $1 million if you make the final. And then I don't know. So I think for second we got 500,000. I don't know, but who cares? Like we're not seeing any. Like we are the program is, but whatever. It's going to go to somebody's bank account or something, whatever, and go to players, which is great. But my point is like trying to figure out where it goes and how much it was. Like we're wasting your time. Whatever. They get NIL money, cool.
The one something I was thinking about during that before that game was like because that was the narrative that was going around. Like this team's playing for $1 million. These college players are playing for $1 million. Like you never played for $1 million when you're playing basketball and like, but that's a weird mindset that be like as a player like that. You're going into this game thinking you're going to win $1 million for your program. Like, I just like, I'd love to ask a player, like, what is your thoughts about that?
See, we talked about that a little bit on Huddy and I on the broadcast too. Like he brought it up and he's like, do you think about that if you're a player? And I'm like, I don't think so. Because it's not like a bonus going right into your pocket.
Well, then I was like, dude, players have contracts saying like if there is NIL money up for grabs that they get a percentage of it. Like
that's a good question. The tournament's great, but there was like so many what have yous and like the format I just discussed, and then who's getting how much, and then like there's people inside the program, not on staff, but like a part of the support staff that. Make the whole athletic department go. That were like, yeah, there's a caveat though. Like everybody gets $1 million, but you have to buy this many tickets, and then you have to sell this. You have to fill this many rooms. Yeah, it's like the old. It's just like when you get a huge check from Uncle Sam, and then you're like, oh, it's worth this. Like, actually, let me dip in your pocket real quick, and then this is what it's really. You know what I mean? It's no difference. Like, so It was a great tournament from that aspect. I think we're going to do it again next year. I think once they clean up the format as far as the point differential thing, I think it'll be smoother. But all in all, it was well run. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And it's an easy sell. Hey, come to Vegas. That's an easy sell to all your boosters, and people can get there. Obviously, everybody knows Vegas. There's a bazillion hotels. It's made for that type of stuff. Yeah, obviously the warm weather. You don't have to go to the Bahamas. It's not expensive. You know what I'm saying? Well, it is, but it's not to the levels of Maui and Bahamas have gotten. And it's not a knock on their tournaments, but you go there and you're like, holy shit, man, everything's just expensive.
Definitely.
Just how the world is now. So I think it'll continue to grow. And I'll be curious to see how long we stay in it? Like, are we gonna? Or did we do a 2-year deal? Because I know like Creighton had a 3-year deal, and that was their second year last year or this time. So I'm pretty sure we're doing it again next year if I'm guessing right. But I'll be curious to see how big it becomes and how long it sticks. Because then also the other thing you got to ask is who's putting up that type of money for like everybody. You get $1 million straight.
Yeah,
okay, so that's $32 million bucks.
It has to be
for
advertising money.
Well, of course, but is like I mean this is not like a political thing, but is it like, you know, like Saudi thing did the live and like they've done other stuff? Is it like one of those things?
Yeah,
like you know what I mean?
That's a good question.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's curious to see like where is all this? That's a lot of money. And obviously you could sell ads, but to start off, 32 million right out in the hole.
There's no 30.
That's what I'm saying, right? And then it's Thanksgiving week. You're battling football.
Yeah.
Like, so once the football games are on, you know how it is in America. Like watching the football game and then having the other game on silent to the right of the TV or looking at my phone. Like, this is how it is.
Right.
Like you the whole thing is to avoid football.
Yeah.
Like if you're smart, like do not have your games on during football. You're going to lose by a lot.
That's a great, because like they're not making money on ticket sales. Because you sent me that video 30 minutes before the tip off.
Yeah, there's
nobody in there.
There's fan bases that travel pretty well. Ours were solid, obviously. Michigan traveled really well. Yeah. Tennessee traveled good. Iowa State did, but it was also like, maybe I was lying earlier when I said 3/4 full. They're probably halfway full with the top part curtained. So you take it how you want. So let's just say there was 5,000 to 6,000 at each game. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not empty. Not dog shit. But also like, yeah, the ticket sales, like, and then I ran into some people that were down there and, you know, playing poker and stuff. And they're like, you know, what do you do doing these games? And they're like, well, I wanted to go. But there was like, it was $350 for a session. I'm like, I'm just going to stay here and just watch it. Like a lot of people just did that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, shit, I'll just go to the sports book because there was like 6 games going on at a time. It had the NCAA tournament field. It's like a practice. So some guys were like, shit, I'll just go to the sports. That's what the people do with the NCAA tournament. I'll just bet on all the games and sit and drink here. So it made sense because you're like, shit, like $350 for like 4 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, and or maybe even 4 teams is maybe what I'm saying, like 2 games. So like, I don't know the exact price, but you know, right. My point was it was expensive. So I all in all, I think it was a great tournament for us. Obviously, you don't want to get blown out by 40. That was the largest loss in Coach Few's era, whatever that means. That they kept running that stat. Michigan looked terrific. Again, this is not a knock on Michigan or take anything away. We looked tired, and we ran into a buzzsaw. I think they're terrific, but also our fans, to me, it's like one of those you just flush it and move on. And, you know, we'll talk about that later in the show, is kind of the mindset after going for a team after that. But you're going to get your ass kicked every once in a while. And and I said it, like, we've done that to a lot of other teams. How much, like, we kind of, deserve is not the right word, but like, we had it coming.
Yeah.
How many times have we beaten some of these West Coast Conference teams by 40? Numerous years, over and over again. Like, sometimes it happens, man. You just got to sit there and wear it. And what I like about Coach Few is, after the game, I think they threw like 2 lobs back to back and were doing all their stuff. I'm the same way. That shit doesn't bother me. Some people are like, it's unsporting. Like, no, it's not. Don't get your ass kicked.
Right.
And if you're excited and you're playing well, they're not rubbing our noses in it. They're excited for making their own plays. We do it sometimes too. Like when we're rolling, and you know what I mean? Guys are making hand signals, blah, blah, blah. Like, I've always loved that and respected that about Coach Few. Like, we got blown out by Illinois my sophomore year, and we made a little comeback in the second half. Like, comeback where we were like, instead of being beat by 40, you got beat by 20. You know what I mean? Or whatever, 30. And it was that Darren Williams, that Illinois team that made it all the way to the Final Four, blah, 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 really good. And, you know, I remember somebody in the newspaper, somebody was complaining, like, do you think they're running up the score? And he immediately stopped. I was like, no, we're not a program that's going to be bitching about getting our ass kicked. Like, kick our ass, go ahead. That's on us. And so I respect that out of Coach Few and the program's like, no, man, like sometimes you got to wear it. You got to eat it. It is what it is. You move on from it. You learn from it. It gives you a lot of fodder as coaches and as players. You got to look at it and be realistic with yourself. Because a lot of teams, like going into this game, and myself included, it's like, well, we got a really good roster. It's nice to be put back down to earth a little bit.
Yeah.
It is.
It is, yeah.
Because then you're like, because everybody's like, well, we can go to the Final Four and go undefeated. Like, no, let's just pump the brakes. Very good basketball team. Let's slow down here. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I think that was a good, humbling experience from a really good basketball team that just kind of took us out of everything. But also, like, it's like we have the talent and the athletic ability and the scheme to beat a team like that. We've done that before, is my point. So I think it was just a buzzsaw, 3 games in 3 days. Michigan's on a mission, that tournament, blah, blah, blah. Still excited for how Steel Venters played over the week. Braden Huff was terrific. Graham, 2 out of the 3 games was terrific. We talked about Innocenti having a great game against Maryland. I thought Mario, the first 2 games, was terrific in the starting role. Braden Smith was okay or serviceable off the bench, playing limited minutes, but doing just fine, right? Doing the right plays. So I think overall there's more positives than there are negatives.
Yeah. That brings us to our McGlilivray Foundation Player of the Tournament. Who is your guy this of the last 3 games?
Well, the first 2 games I would have gone Steele just because of the 3-point shooting ability, but overall it's a no-brainer. Braden Huff was the most consistent, efficient. Everything you want to ask out of your big inside. Was terrific against Alabama. Obviously, the Maryland game great too. And then he was, like I said, he had 14 against Michigan. But I think Braden by far was the best one in that tournament, and he's had a terrific season.
I want to ask about the Michigan game and being like our bigs. Like, were they just kind of took them out of the game? I mean, for Graham to not even have a field goal in the game, where like we just exposed? Was it just?
No, I think in that game. Okay, well, yeah, exposed is it's a weird word to say because I think it's overbearing, but also like it highlighted some flaws.
Yeah,
maybe is the better way to put it, right? And flaws, when I mean that, it's just like the natural, things that you're not used to seeing on a basketball court. We're not used to being denied out to 25 feet, and then you have, all right, go ahead and backdoor us, and you have Twin Towers behind you blocking shots or affecting shots. Remember our teams with Chet?
Yeah.
How much we used to lane out?
Yeah.
Go ahead, go by me. I'm going to climb up in your shit, go by me. And then you had 7-4, 7-3, like not just blocking shots, challenging them or making guys go, shit, normally I shot this 12-footer. Against everybody else is a really high percent shot. Now I'm going to have to float it over a 7-4 guy. And if I miss it, it's probably going to be a long rebound and they're going to go the other way and I'm going to get yelled at by my coach, blah, blah, blah. So I think part of that was that.
Yeah.
And then I think for Graham especially, going against that size, and he couldn't push them around, and not that he's obviously a physical menace to other teams, but they matched it pretty well. And when he put it on the floor, there was hands in there and bodies. So I think that just threw him off a little bit, and he just couldn't get in a rhythm.
Yeah.
So he's had a terrific season. He's going to continue to have a terrific season. But he's had bad games. They all had a bad game, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it. He just had a bad game. Terrific tournament. He was awesome against Alabama, right? So we have to look at the whole body of work, and he'll bounce back. But I think just on the periphery, I think the size, the 7'3" size, kind of bothered him around the rim. Couldn't get in a rhythm. So, but overall, like I said, I think there's more positives than not. And I'd say that I wouldn't say that if it wasn't true, if I didn't think it. Now, if we came back from this tournament and looked shitty 2 out of the 3 games, I'd sit out here for an hour and say we look shitty for 2 out of the 3. We look good for 2 out of the 3.
Yeah.
So you got to take what you got to take. But
definitely,
I'm excited still for this team moving forward. And then sometimes, again, I've talked about it. There's some value in having a loss, and there's some value in getting your butt kicked. Everybody in life has gone through something that they're like, holy shit, I got my ass whipped. And you kind of reevaluate things. You don't do that when you're winning all the time. You just don't.
You don't know.
So,
yeah, in the 4 years we've been doing this version of the show, I mean, we've had losses like this, and it's always better to have these losses now than
100%
in the tournament.
Amen. I mean, it goes without saying, but it felt like UConn, Purdue, and it looked the same of the laning out. Go ahead and go by us. Bigs inside. Because you think about it, UConn had the Klingon kid or whatever. He's playing for the Blazers. And then obviously Purdue had Zach Edey. Those are 7-1 plus guys. 2 NBA guys. That Mara guy probably will be an NBA player if he gets better, just based on his size. If he can catch and roll and just be a big, there you go.
Yeah,
right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like those teams look the same as the 2 other clubs I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what do you want to get in Kentucky?
Yeah, let's. I think it's going to be an interesting game because of a lot of what happened last year. Now, last year we had, obviously, Mark Pope gets the job. It was kind of a unique hire, not in the sense that he's not qualified, but, coming off Cal, like, other people were saying you needed a big name splash, all those things. Mark Pope can coach, but he's not a big name splash. He's BYU, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, kind of a quieter hire, if that makes sense. But it's going to be one of those fun games because obviously it's on the road, but playing in Nashville, it's a neutral site game. What I'm saying is, but it's on the road. Terrific team. They're 5-2 overall. Have a loss against Louisville. They're bitter rivals, and then they lost to Michigan State, who's a really good basketball team this season. So it's kind of curious. I've heard a little bit of complaining already out of Big Blue Nation, but that's normal for them. He can really coach. They're balanced scoring. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys that average double figures, much like they were last year. Play similar style to us. A lot of similar actions. Going to get up and running up and down the floor. Score almost 90 points a game, similar to us. So it's a fun atmosphere, fun matchup. But if just jog everybody's memory, we had them beat at Climate Pledge where we were up 15 or something like that in the first half.
Yep.
Something like that. And then they came back and beat us in overtime, and that was one of the most stunned I've ever seen just a home crowd, even though we were in our own building. And that was a wild ending because there was Kentucky fans that were getting shit on in the first half, and in the second half, after they've been lubed up. Yeah, I mean, people were talking shit. Like, it was face to face talking shit. I'm like, man, somebody's gonna, like, I've obviously it's not in the realm of like going to an NFL football game, but like the hostility got, and our fans are really good, like as far as being polite, and that's not a knock, but we don't have like bad fans.
Right.
It got to where like some people were like, hey man, you got to shut up, man. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, I was like watching, I'm like, man, people are getting like really pissed because anyway, so we had that from last year. Obviously he was a terrific coach at BYU, but we ran the conference. We had the better record against him, but he has a formula, is my point, that can work to beat us. So I think it's going to be a terrific game. Our bigs, again, Graham's going to have a bounce back game. Our perimeter's got to shoot it better than 3 for 22 that we had against Michigan. Mario's got to play good on the point, right? Adam Miller's got to start making more shots from the perimeter. But it's a true road game. I know it's a neutral, but like I said, it's like us playing in the arena. Like that's a home game for us. Yeah, everybody counts as neutral. So I think it's a terrific deal to have on the schedule. 2 blue blood programs, and it's another chance for us to get a tournament resume win. Now, are we in the realm of must win? Not even close. But for must win, as far as adding resume type wins, it's definitely going to help. But we still have UCLA, Oregon coming up. But you kind of want to win this game after getting blown out by 40. If that makes sense.
I mean, I mean, it's funny. In the last like 3 years, we've last year it wasn't a bounce back. Like, we didn't have a bounce back game against Kentucky, but like I feel like the year we let me look at, I have it up right now, but Kentucky's always been a team that like we've gone against over the last couple of years where we felt like we needed to win?
It's a really good point. So that was 2 years ago. We go at Kentucky, at Rupp, and we win that game in the second half, and that we were all like, okay, we're in now.
Yeah.
So you're right.
And that was during the was that during? Oh no, so it was we had lost to St. Mary's, and
then we had that weird. That weird conference game that you can schedule where you have the bye, and thank God Coach Few scheduled that. Because the year before they played us at the arena, we kicked the shit out of them.
Yep.
Then we go to Rupp. That's when they had Reed Shepherd.
Yeah.
Whoever else they're drafted. They're like 3 guys that ended up getting drafted. And we played the best basketball we've played all season in the second half. And then last year they come and beat us. But you're right. Like, that's a very good point. That game that year got us like, okay, we're pretty much in unless we shit our pants the first game at the WCC, which we never do. So we're like, okay, we make it to the final. We don't get blown out by St. Mary's. This win right here is putting us in.
Yeah.
And then, last year was like, holy shit, that was not a devastating loss, but a surprising loss because we were up so much in the first half playing so well. But it's a great point because it's like Oregon is good, but they're not great. You don't know how they're going to fare. And UCLA is always solid, but they're in a tough conference. So, like, it's still going to be a quad 1 win if we beat them. If is what I'm going to reiterate. So nobody, no idiot fans from either fan base, like, say I'm on here predicting wins. You know what I mean? But if we have to, like, have one of those games. Obviously, Alabama's one of those where you can look back and be like, hey, we've gotten 3 wins versus top 25 or whatever. Because when you go to the WCC and everybody, the old wink was like, don't shit on the WCC because we're in the conference too. But sometimes like, yeah, some of these clubs are terrible. And now it's our last year being in it, so I can say what I want, right?
Yeah.
But like the league is probably not that good this year. And just looking at from a start of the season. St. Mary's is good. They're always good, but that's it.
Yeah.
USF is not good, not as good as they have been in the past. And that's it.
Yeah.
It's just like, so my point is, like, you better get some of these, and we've talked about that, and if people listen to the show understand that, you got to talk, you got to stack some of these Thanksgiving wins right after December. So yeah, this is an interesting game. It's not even close to a must-win because shit, we're 7-1 and 12th in the country.
Yeah,
but it sure be nice if it was on a resume.
It would be great. Yeah. So it kind of brings us to a good point to talk about our M4 CPA stat of the week, and I just brought the stat from the Mark Few era, and I think when we talk about Gonzaga, we were mostly talking about the Mark Few era.
And there's not even, and it's not a knock to the first guys that win the NCAA tournament. That's sorry to cut your train of thought off, but when you think of fucking 99 and after, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, and I was a ball boy for those teams that that went to the NCAA tournament with John Riley and you know what I'm saying, Coach Fitzgerald and Dixon was the point guard, Paul Rogers, all those guys, Bakari Hendricks, they're all terrific players. But it's not the Mark Few era.
It's not the Mark Few era.
So anyway, keep going.
So in the Mark Few era, after a loss, Gonzaga has 100 bounce back wins and only 13 losses.
That's crazy. That's a wild stat.
And so I went back all the way to 2000 or 99, and I was just like, that is that's a crazy stat because I didn't count any.
So only
I didn't count any wins after, like, if we lost back to back wins after one loss. This is anytime, like,
so not losing 2 in a row.
Not losing 2 in a row.
So we've only done that 13 times.
We've lost 13. We've lost 2 in a row or more 13 times. Yeah,
that's
and
crazy.
I think we've never. I don't think we've ever lost 4 in a row.
I don't think so either. I think a couple times we've gone 3 losses.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a really good stat. Bravo.
So that I was like, rest assured.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're gonna. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, everybody get out your wallets. Go to the sports book right now. It's guaranteed. We got the numbers on our side, but that's a terrific. That's a terrific stat because, I mean, obviously it shows the resiliences of our program, but also understanding sometimes you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you know, the beauty of sport, 99% of the time you have a chance to get back on the horse unless it's the end of the season.
Yeah.
And I've told, you know, my girls' teams that. I'm going to tell my son's team that. It's like, hey, man, sometimes you get your butt kicked. Mm-hmm. It's how you respond to it, right? And that's, you know, it's once you get bucked off the horse, everybody knows that's the same thing in life. So, yeah, it's gonna be a fascinating game.
Yeah,
it's gonna be exciting to watch, exciting to call, but I'm also curious to see how it react. And it was nice to have this break. Mm-hmm. Obviously, coming back, you know, from getting your butt whipped, but playing 3 days in a row. I think the fellas got to go home for 2 days because we saw some of the kids at the airport when we're heading back, you know, going their separate ways from Vegas, which was nice. But also, I'm like, man, that seems like a quick turnaround, right? Because let's say, you know, like Braden lives in Chicago area, Braden Huff. So you get on a flight on Thanksgiving Day, so that's when we flew back, and then you have to be back by Saturday. So is it worth to like be home for like 24 hours? And I'm just thinking out loud, not talking about him specifically, but also like I'd be like, tell my daughter she's gonna go play Division I basketball, but she's close enough to drive. But I'd be like, have a good Thanksgiving. Come home for Christmas when you got more time. You know what I mean? Because it's like a lot of travel. I don't know.
During these like long, like week-long layoffs of playing, like they're still practicing every day.
So
and we've talked about this before, obviously, but like a quick little reminder.
Usually you get 2 days max off, max, and then you'll get them back in the gym. And it's funny, I know. You know, guys say they'll work out, which they usually will, but you're not going to go as hard. Yeah. And then also too, like, and this is not an indicative of anybody on our character on our team, but just in general, I think getting them back, because what happens when you go back home during Thanksgiving break? Just think about when you're, you know, high school, college age, everybody's partying. Yeah. I don't give a shit who you are. I mean, it's like
you're gonna go meet up with old friends.
You're gonna go meet up with old friends, and you're all older now. Holy shit! Like it's probably one of the most fun times you can have. Yeah. So it's like, hey man, you guys got to come back. Yeah. So I think that's part of it. Even if you bring them back for one of the days to come in and say, okay, you know, it's a film day, it's a shooting, light sweat, and training table day, but we got eyes on you today. I think that's part of it. Yeah. But we have great character dudes. But even if you do, like, you could be, you know, Mr. Rogers, and if Sally from your third period in algebra in high school says, hey, let's go get a drink, you're probably going to go do it. Definitely, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you were a senior, like, oh, absolutely.
And I got a feeling like a lot of these guys, like, they're if they're going home for a couple of days, like, they're playing for Gonzaga. People are excited for them. Like,
and, and then there's fucking assholes that are haters, too, from back home that want to, like, jam you up too, like for real. So I think just getting them back on campus is the right move. But all in all, again, I think it was a terrific tournament. The Michigan game sucked. I mean, it was funny for us to call because we were just like looking at each other like, oh shit, and like just kind of like laughing through it.
You're usually on the other side of that, aren't you?
100%. And that's the thing. We said it multiple times, and it's like, hey man, we've laughed and giggled, not at the mercy of making fun of other teams, but when we're like just absolutely rolling. Right. All right, it's time to go to the woodshed. And you know what I mean? Like, go grab your Switch, and you're like, okay, you know what's coming. You know what I mean? Like, it's our turn. So it felt like one of those, but Michigan's a terrific team. They're fun to watch too, man. I'm not even just saying that as they blew us out, man. Like, they got a lot of pieces.
I mean, they looked like an unbeatable team in that game. And we, as someone who's like, as a lot of Gonzaga fans who's watched this team, we thought like, this is probably one of the better teams in memory. And then we go and lose by 40. Yeah. You just think like, oh, like we are human and you got to bounce back. And which a lot of people asked, which for our Ask Adam question of the week from Idaho Central Credit Union. And this comes from Warren G. Funk. I picked his one.
The Perimeter will be right back after a word from our sponsor.
It's time for Home Team Rewards. Zag fans, get your Bulldog branded ICCU Premier Rewards Visa credit card, the only card where you can earn rewards for everyday purchases while giving back to Gonzaga University. Choose from a Visa Rewards card with a lower rate or a Premier Rewards card with maximum rewards. With no annual fees, card control, and next level security, you can spend smart from tap to app. Zags, rejoice. Find your card at iccu.com/GoZags on approved credit.
From Idaho Central Credit Union. And this comes from Warren G. Funk. I picked his one question. Mentally, from a player standpoint, how do you flush it and move on after a big loss like that?
So I think, usually it's a locker room thing more so. And then also, I think the staff kind of helps you through that as far as I've been a part of big losses, obviously been a part of more big winning. But sometimes you just have to come in and be like, okay, guys, this is a good tournament. Let's look at the film. And then you pick and choose what you want to get on, but you can't just, dwell on it. Now, let's be completely honest. And if you listen to the broadcast, I did kill them on some of our effort was dog shit, especially in the first half. But then I started attributing to it being tired.
Yeah.
Which you can argue, devil's advocate, that's not an excuse. Okay, that's fair. But it's 3 games, 3 nights. Okay. But some of our defensive transition, it was awful. I mean, it was terrible.
Yeah, it was.
Where they were just literally they come down and 2 more dribbles are at the rim and our guys are still turning around okay, that's bad. But I think just as a whole, when you're a good culture and a good program, you flush it and move on, but you use it as ammo and you use it as a learning experience. I know that's all cliche stuff, but I mean, like I said, we got our ass kicked by 30 against Illinois and we had to play UW 2 days later in the kennel. And that was the UW team with Brandon Roy, Nate Robinson, Bobby Jones, Trey Simmons. And we had one of the best, and it's not just me because I played in the game, but if you ask true hardcore Zag fans, that's probably one of the best kennel wins we've ever had. As far as who we were playing, the stakes, because we just got our asses kicked.
Right.
And it was my sophomore year. We were all young. Is this team for real? Can you guys, are you guys good? And we played one of our best games, and I think the game was 92-88. And it was one of those, if you go back and watch that game, it was one of those all-time kennel games where a lot of talent on the floor, and it was up and down, blah, blah, blah. So you just have to flush it and move on, but understand that sometimes you just get your ass kicked some nights.
Yeah.
I've been in a locker room, obviously, when I played in L.A., I think we were playing Houston in the playoffs, and we got beat in a game 6 or game 5 or game 6, and we got blown out. And Phil Jackson just came in and was just all right, just get ready to go for the next one.
Yeah.
Didn't scream at anybody. Yeah, I mean, it's the NBA, man. You know what I mean? It's no different high level college basketball. Sometimes you just lose. So that seems very simple and gloss over, but you look at some of the stuff, but you just, to me as a coaching staff, you pick and choose. Now, if this was a team, but this has never been us, but let's just go hypothetical. If we were a team or a club that was kind of soft and didn't really give effort the whole season, then it'd be a lot more embarrassing.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? And then it would be one of those where you bring guys in and be like, okay, who's on scholarship? Raise your hands. I'll play any SOB that scholarship or not is going to play hard. And you just point to the walk-ons. You might start on, we ain't that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I know the points looked bad, 40, but with the culture and the club and the toughness of the guys you have, the degree of the loss is lessened.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So hopefully that's a great question, and it's a fair one, and it's not an excuse-making one. But from my standpoint, if I was Fewy, and obviously he knows what he's doing, I wouldn't make a big deal. I would just move on, and I would work at the shit that what didn't work in that game. Obviously, they're going to do that, but it's fodder for your coaching staff. Look, guys, we've been telling you we got to get through our secondary and our third actions, our pressure releases. We've been telling I'm sure they have, but we haven't had to use them. You better use them, and we better get better at them, because if we don't, this could happen again.
Yeah.
So anyway,
one more just random fun question. You probably saw that Drew Timme has a 2-way contract with the Lakers now.
yes.
And I saw a clip of him shooting half-court shots during Lakers practice, and Rui said Gonzaga. I wanted to ask you real quick about shooting half-court shots for the Lakers. And you can answer however you want to answer, but that was a thing you guys always ended on with at practice, right?
It's only on shoot-arounds.
Oh, only on shoot-arounds. Okay.
And then we do the same thing at Gonzaga too.
Oh, okay.
Most programs do it. So you have your shoot-around, and then you shoot half court on each side.
Yeah.
I do it with my girls' teams. I've done it with my boys' team. Day before, because obviously we don't shoot around the day of a game. Mm-hmm. But the practice before a game, you shoot half quarters. And this is going to sound funny to a non-hardcore basketball person. You shoot them because you got to practice them. Mm-hmm. As funny as it sounds, but you got to get it up on the rim and get it up on the backboard. And there's a way to do it.
Yeah.
Because you see it every year. People have won state championships off making a half quarter or advanced.
Yeah.
Happens.
Every year, yeah.
It doesn't even have quarter, like a step inside. You have to get it up and on the rim or on the backboard to where it has a legitimate chance. Gordon Hayward almost made one of the greatest ones of all time for Baylor or Butler. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You think he's practiced that shot before? Yeah, he has. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So teams do it because it's fun because you keep track. Usually we would do too, in LA, we would do a line and everybody puts $100 in, and if you make it and then everybody gets to match it, which is hard to do,
right?
To get through the gauntlet, because there's 12 pros shooting a half quarter. You make one, you got to go through another 12. Somebody's probably going to make it. It's really hard to do. Yeah. You win $1,200.
That's
so
fun.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun. But sometimes you're like, fuck, we're going to be here all day, man. Because you know what I mean? Somebody's going to make it.
Definitely.
Or get close.
Yeah.
But that's why you do it. But that's cool that I'm happy for Drew. He deserves a shot. When he got waived by the Nets, I was surprised, but obviously I don't follow enough to know their roster and what their plans are rebuilding, but he's skilled enough, and hopefully he gets a fair shake to play up top.
Yeah.
But what a great shit.
Yeah.
If he could go in and play spot minutes when the guys get hurt or play at a 10-game pick and roll with two of the best guards and then obviously LeBron on the wing, yeah. Dog, you're gonna get spoon-fed.
Yeah.
You're not even all your spin shit that you do, all the great stuff, you ain't gonna need it. You're just gonna catch it and lay it up.
Yeah.
You're literally gonna get spoon-fed. Here you go, here's 10 points.
Yeah. And he's been doing great in the G League.
He's terrific. Yeah, and I'm happy for Drew. He's still fun to watch. You could see all the skill work and but yeah, that's why the half quarters come in.
Yeah.
And some people think it's joking around, but I've told my girls' teams, I'm like, no, man, practice getting up on the rim. You might have to make one of these, or you may make one to win a state championship, but you want it to be close.
Yeah.
I have a chance. So, and then they're like, oh, yeah, because someone chuck it, and you're like, that's never going to go in. Throw it like a normal shot, but you get it and just throw it as high as you can. So it hits the backboard, and funny things have happened.
Yes.
So anyway, but yeah, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with a recap of Kentucky. Like I said, North Florida, you can do your own recap. I'm not wasting my time. We play them Sunday. I think they're 3:33 in the Ken Palm. That's it. But thank you for our sponsors, McGlilivray Environmental, Idaho Central Credit Union, M4 CPA. Come back next week. Thanks.